The day everything changed, Captain Mark Stone stood on the bridge of the human ship New Dawn, watching the stars through the massive viewport. The silence felt heavy, like the calm before a storm that had already passed. 50 years had gone by since first contact, and the galaxy still whispered about what humans had done. He remembered the old stories his grandfather used to tell. Back then, humans were excited about meeting aliens. They thought it would be like the movies, peaceful. Exchanges, sharing knowledge, becoming part of a bigger galactic family. Nobody expected what actually happened. The first alien ship arrived on a Tuesday. Commander Jack Williams was in charge of Earth's defense that day. The aliens called themselves the Star Empire, and they came with promises of friendship and trade. Their ships were beautiful, gleaming white vessels that moved through space like dancing light. "We come in peace," their leader had said through the communication system. His name was something humans could never pronounce, so everyone just called him the Admiral. He looked almost human, except for his blue skin and 3 eyes. "We want to welcome Earth into the galactic community." For 6 months, everything seemed perfect. The aliens shared basic technology, better engines for human ships, new medicines that could cure diseases, energy systems that were cleaner than anything humans had ever built. In return, humans shared their art, music, and stories. But then the truth came out. Lieutenant Amy Taylor was working at the communication center when she intercepted the first message. The aliens weren't speaking to humans. They were talking to each other, thinking humans couldn't understand their real language. Amy had learned enough of their speech to catch the important words. "The primitives are useful," the message said. "Their world has good resources. We can use them as workers once we take control." Amy ran to her commander with the translation. Within hours, more messages were decoded. The aliens saw humans as nothing more than smart animals. They were planning to take over Earth and use humans as slave labor in their mines and factories. General Robert Hayes called an emergency meeting of all Earth's leaders. The room was full of angry voices and worried faces. Some wanted to negotiate. Others wanted to fight. But everyone knew humans were outgunned and outnumbered. "They have ships that can destroy cities," said Admiral Lisa Cross, the head of Earth's small space fleet. "Their weapons are centuries ahead of ours. If we fight them now, we lose everything." But humans had something the aliens didn't. They had survived ice ages, world wars, and plagues. They knew how to fight when everything seemed hopeless. The war started when the aliens attacked the Mars colony. 300 human families lived there, mining resources and building humanity's first home away from Earth. The alien ships arrived without warning and began bombing the settlements. Colonel Dave Mitchell commanded the colony's small defense force. He had 12 fighters against 50 alien warships. Everyone expected the humans to surrender quickly. Instead, Colonel Mitchell did something that shocked the galaxy. He turned the colony's mining equipment into weapons. The huge machines that dug tunnels became missile launchers. The transport ships became bombs. When the alien soldiers landed, they found themselves fighting in tunnels and caves where their advanced weapons couldn't help them. The battle lasted 3 days. When it ended, the Mars colony was destroyed, but so were 47 alien ships. Only 3 alien vessels escaped to tell the story. Captain Stone remembered watching the news reports as a child. His father had been quiet for days after hearing. "About Mars, they made a mistake," his father had said. "They think we're just smart animals. But animals fight hardest when they're trapped." The aliens learned their first lesson about humans that day. Humans didn't fight like other species. And the galaxy. Most aliens would surrender when they lost 10% of their forces. Humans kept fighting even when they lost 90%. But the real war was just beginning. The Star Empire called for help from their allies. Soon, 12 different alien species were sending ships to attack Earth. They were confident that their superior technology would win quickly. They were wrong. Engineer Tom Baker was working in a captured alien ship when he made the discovery that changed everything. The alien technology wasn't as advanced as it seemed. It was just different. Humans could learn it, copy it, and make it better. Within months, human ships were flying with hybrid technology that combined human creativity with alien science. The results were weapons and defenses that neither species could have built alone. The galaxy was about to learn why humans had survived so long on a dangerous planet. They were about to discover what happened when peaceful explorers became determined warriors. And they were about to understand why some species should never be underestimated. The human way of war 2 years after the Mars attack, humanity had learned to fight like no species the galaxy had ever seen. General Mike Foster stood in the command center on Luna Base, watching displays that showed human fleets moving through space like hunting packs. The aliens had made their second mistake. They thought the Mars victory was just luck, so they sent bigger fleets with better weapons, expecting to crush human resistance quickly. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy that broke every rule of galactic warfare. Dr. Kate Wilson ran the alien research program from her lab on Earth. Her team had dissected every piece of alien technology they could find. What they discovered changed everything humans knew about their enemies. Most alien species evolved from prey animals, she explained to the military commanders. They think defensively. They build strong shields and wait for enemies to attack. But humans evolved from hunters. We think like predators. This difference showed in every battle. While aliens formed neat battle lines and followed ancient combat traditions, humans scattered like wolves and attacked from unexpected directions. They used asteroid fields as cover, hid ships inside ice comets, and turned space debris into weapons. Captain Bob Miller commanded the destroyer Earth's Fury during the Battle of Titan Station. His small squadron faced an alien fleet 10 times larger. Instead of running or surrendering, Miller did something that terrified the aliens. He split his forces into tiny groups and attacked the alien supply ships first. While the main alien fleet was arranged for a grand battle, humans were destroying their fuel tankers and ammunition carriers. By the time the aliens realized what was happening, half their fleet was stranded in space without supplies. Private Sam Davis became famous across the galaxy for what he did during that same battle. The young soldier from Texas managed to board an alien battleship through its waste disposal port. Once inside, he crawled through the ventilation system and manually overloaded the ship's reactor. The alien crew never saw him coming. They didn't even know humans were on their ship until it exploded. Sam's success inspired thousands of similar boarding actions. Soon, alien crews were afraid to leave any opening unsealed, no matter how small. But humans had an even bigger advantage. They learned faster than any species the aliens had ever fought. Each battle taught them something new about alien weaknesses, and they shared this knowledge instantly across all human forces. Major Sue Johnson developed what became known as the human swarm tactic. Instead of big formations that moved slowly, human ships operated in small groups that could change plans instantly. This flexibility drove alien commanders crazy. The aliens were used to fighting wars that lasted centuries, with both sides following predictable patterns. Human tactics changed. Every few weeks, something that worked against humans in one battle would fail completely in the next. Commander Troy Wilson led the attack on the alien base at Proxima Centauri. The base was supposed to be impossible to capture. It was built inside an asteroid with shields that could stop any known weapon. The aliens thought they were safe. They hadn't counted on human creativity. Instead of attacking the shields directly, Wilson's engineers found a way to make the asteroid itself explode. They used mining charges placed at precise points to crack the rock from the inside. When the asteroid split apart, the base was destroyed along with it. The victory at Proxima sent shockwaves through alien space. For the first time, species that had never fought humans began to worry. Intelligence reports showed that alien governments were starting to study human psychology, trying to understand how to fight an enemy that refused to follow any rules. Lieutenant Ann Parker monitored alien communications from her listening post on Pluto. The messages she intercepted painted a picture of growing fear throughout the galaxy. Alien officers described humans as the nightmare species and the ones who fight without honor. But humans weren't fighting without honor. They were fighting to survive. Every human knew that losing meant slavery or death for their entire species. This knowledge made them fight harder than any alien could imagine. Engineer Paul Turner worked day and night to improve human weapons and ships. His team took alien technology and made it better, combining it with human engineering in ways that created entirely new types of weapons. What had started as copies of alien designs became something uniquely human and far more dangerous. The aliens began to realize they had awakened something terrible. Intercepted messages spoke of the species that never surrenders and the ones who turn our own weapons against us. Some alien cultures started creating myths about humans. Stories told to frighten their children about the monsters that came from the darkness between stars. Fear spreads across the stars. The news traveled faster than the fastest ships. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations heard the same impossible stories. Humans were winning. Species that had ruled star systems for thousands of years suddenly found themselves afraid of a race they had dismissed as primitive just 5 years before. Ambassador. Jim Chen sat in the council chambers of the Galactic Assembly, but not as a prisoner this time. The same aliens who had once planned to enslave humanity now requested peace talks. The shift in power was so dramatic that some alien species refused to believe it was real. The peaceful Neri Republic was the first to offer friendship. Ambassador Pete Davis met with their leaders on their homeworld, a garden planet covered in crystal cities. The Neri had learned that humans remembered their friends and rewarded loyalty, but they never forgot their enemies. "We want no conflict with your people," the Neri chancellor said through his translator. His species looked like tall, thin birds with silver feathers and gentle eyes. "We offer trade, knowledge, and alliance." Pete accepted their offer, but made human terms clear. Any species that wanted friendship had to prove they could be trusted. The galaxy was learning that humans were generous to friends, but absolutely ruthless to enemies. The proud Kovan Empire refused to believe humans could threaten them. Their species had conquered 17 star systems and never lost a major battle. Admiral Ray Cooper was sent to teach them otherwise. The Corvins challenged the human fleet to honorable combat, ship against ship, commander against commander, following the ancient rules of war. Admiral Cooper accepted their challenge, but he had his own interpretation of the rules. When the Corvin fleet arrived at the meeting point, they found a single human ship waiting for them. The Corvin admiral felt insulted that only one vessel had come to face his mighty fleet. He demanded to fight Cooper personally in single combat between their flagships. Cooper agreed. The battle began with both ships facing each other across empty space. But when the Corvin ship fired its first shot, 12 smaller human vessels suddenly appeared around it. They had been hiding in the sensor shadow of Cooper's larger ship, invisible until the moment of attack. The Corvin flagship was destroyed in seconds. The rest of their fleet surrendered immediately, too shocked to continue fighting. The Corvins learned that humans would follow the letter of any agreement, but they would interpret it in ways their enemies never expected. Lieutenant Beth Turner worked in the communications center, monitoring alien news broadcasts across the galaxy. What she heard worried human commanders more than any military threat. The aliens weren't just afraid of human weapons. They were afraid of humans themselves. Stories spread through alien space like wildfire. They spoke of human soldiers who kept fighting even after being mortally wounded, of human ships that rammed enemy vessels in suicide attacks, of human commanders who smiled while their cities burned. Most of these stories were exaggerated, but they served a purpose. Dr. Alan Foster, a human psychologist, realized that fear could be a weapon more powerful than any gun. He began designing propaganda campaigns that played on alien psychology. Humans started broadcasting strange messages on alien communication frequencies. Sometimes it was just the sound of human laughter, a noise that many alien species found deeply disturbing. Other times, it was images of human art depicting war and violence. or simple statements like, "We are watching and we remember everything." The psychological warfare worked better than anyone expected. Some alien species began having nightmares about humans. Others developed new phobias about the dark regions of space where human ships might be hiding, Dr. Mary Blake commanded. The stealth ship Silent Revenge, one of humanity's new deep strike vessels. Her crew of 20 specialists could paralyze an entire star system without the aliens ever knowing humans were there. During the Vega campaign, Blake's team infiltrated the aliens' most secure system and sabotaged their primary shipyard. They destroyed 3 years of construction work in a single night, then vanished back into space like ghosts. The aliens found no evidence of human presence except for a simple message written in their own language on the shipyard's main computer. This could have been your homeworld. The black market began trading in human deterrents, weapons, and defenses, specifically designed to stop human attacks. The fact that such a market existed showed how completely humans had changed their reputation in the galaxy. Engineer Ben Murphy developed the adaptive warfare systems that kept human technology advancing faster than aliens could counter it. His computers learned from every battle, automatically updating human tactics and weapons. What started as human creativity became an exponential advantage that left alien military planners helpless. The line no one crosses 10 years after first contact? Humanity had drawn a line across the galaxy that no alien dared to cross. Fleet. Admiral Dan Cooper stood on the bridge of his flagship Earth's Guardian, watching the massive defense network that surrounded human space like a steel wall made of stars. The human defense perimeter stretched across 50 light years, marking the boundary between human territory and the rest of the galaxy. It wasn't just a border. It was a statement. Beyond this line, humans controlled everything. Within it, no alien ship could enter without permission. The perimeter was protected by thousands of automated weapons platforms, each one more advanced than anything aliens had ever built. These silent guardians floated in the darkness, waiting for any unauthorized ship to come too close. They had been built using alien technology that humans had captured and improved. Captain Lisa Evans patrolled the perimeter in her destroyer Final Warning. Her ship represented the new generation of human vessels, faster than alien scouts, deadlier than alien battleships, and equipped with weapons that could destroy entire fleets. The aliens had tried to breach the perimeter exactly once. A Corvin spy ship attempted to sneak through using advanced stealth technology. The automated defenses detected it instantly and destroyed it before the crew could even send a distress signal. The wreckage was left floating in space. As a reminder to anyone else who might be watching, Lieutenant Joe Clark operated one of the monitoring stations that tracked every alien ship within 100 light years of human space. His sensors could detect a single fighter craft hiding behind a moon, and his weapons could destroy it from farther away than most aliens could even. Scan. Contact bearing 270, Joe reported during his shift. Alien merchant vessel, staying well outside the perimeter. Captain Evans smiled grimly. The alien ship was following a trade route that added 3 weeks to its journey. All to avoid coming anywhere near human space. The galaxy had reorganized its shipping lanes around human territory, but the perimeter was more than just a defensive measure. Hidden within the network were the Omega Protocols, humanity's ultimate contingency plan. Dr. Alex Morgan led the project from a secret facility, buried deep beneath Earth's surface. If aliens ever threatened Earth again, humans were prepared to sterilize entire star systems. They had identified the homeworlds of every hostile species and built weapons capable of cracking planets like eggs. The aliens knew about these protocols, and the knowledge kept their leaders awake at night. Commander Julian Knight oversaw the Ghost Fleet, unmarked human ships that operated beyond the perimeter, gathering intelligence and maintaining humanity's network of informants. These vessels were invisible to alien sensors and crewed by volunteers who officially didn't exist. The Ghost Fleet ensured that humans knew everything happening in alien space while remaining completely invisible themselves. They had agents on every major alien world and listening posts in every Strategic system. The economic impact of human isolation surprised everyone. Before the war, humans had been eager trading partners, offering unique goods and services that many alien species had grown to depend on. Now, with human space close to alien commerce, entire trade networks were collapsing. The Spiral Commerce Guild, which had once controlled trade across half the galaxy, went bankrupt within 5 years. Their roots had depended on passage through what was now human space, and the long detours around human territory made their operations unprofitable. Some alien governments tried to pressure humans into reopening trade. They sent diplomatic missions with offers of tribute and valuable gifts, but humans had learned not to trust alien promises. Every request was denied with the same simple message: human space remains closed to unauthorized vessels. Captain Steve Parker commanded the patrol ship No Mercy as it escorted the first alien diplomatic mission to Earth in 8 years. The delegation represented 12 different species, all begging for the chance to negotiate new treaties. Ambassador Linda Thompson met with the aliens in a space station orbiting Earth, but everyone knew she wasn't there to negotiate as an equal. She was there to deliver humanity's terms, and those terms were non-negotiable. Asterisk. You had your chance for peaceful cooperation, she told the alien delegates. You chose to see us as slaves and cattle. Now you'll live with the consequences of that choice. The aliens offered technology, resources, and even star systems in exchange for normal relations. But humans no longer needed anything aliens could offer. They had taken alien technology and made it better. They had claimed the resources they needed by force. They had earned respect through strength. The meeting ended with the same message that had been broadcast to every alien civilization: stay out of human space. This warning will not be repeated. The new galactic order 50 years after first contact. The galaxy had learned to live in the shadow of human power. Captain Mark Stone, now an elderly veteran, commanded the patrol ship last lesson as it intercepted another group of newcomers who had just discovered human space. The distant wanderers had traveled from the far edge of the galaxy, following old star maps that didn't show the new reality. Their small exploration fleet approached human territory with the standard peaceful intentions that had once been common throughout the galaxy. They were about to learn why that was no longer possible. Unknown vessels, you are approaching restricted space, transmitted Lieutenant Karen White from the communications station. State your business or turn back immediately. The Wanderer captain responded with the traditional greeting protocols that had been used for thousands of years. He spoke of peaceful exploration, cultural exchange, and mutual benefit, words that sounded innocent, but made human crews reach for their weapons. Captain Stone remembered when humans had used those same words. Before they learned that peaceful exploration meant scouting for resources and cultural exchange meant finding weaknesses to exploit. The Wanderer fleet consisted of 12 ships, each one beautiful and obviously advanced. Their leader seemed confused by the hostile reception, expecting the warm welcome that species had once given to each other. We mean no harm, the alien captain said. We seek only knowledge and friendship. Turn back now, Stone replied. Human space is closed to all alien vessels. This is your only warning. The Wanderers didn't understand. They had never heard of humans, never learned about the war that had changed everything. To them, this was just another species to meet and befriend. They couldn't comprehend that they were facing the apex predators of the galaxy. When the alien ships continued forward, the automated defense systems activated. Weapons platforms that had been hiding in the darkness suddenly appeared, surrounding the Wanderer fleet with enough firepower to destroy small planets. The alien captain's confusion turned to terror as he realized what he was facing. His ships were advanced by the standards of most species, but they looked like toys compared to human technology. In seconds, his entire fleet was helpless. Please, the alien captain begged. We didn't know. We'll leave immediately. Stone almost felt sorry for them. Almost. But humans had learned not to trust alien promises, no matter how sincere they seemed. You have 10 minutes to clear human space. If you ever return, you will be destroyed without warning. The Wanderer. Ships fled, broadcasting emergency signals to their home fleet. Within hours, their government would be frantically updating star charts and sending warnings to every ship in their territory. Stay away from human space. Back on Earth. The Galactic Council met in its new headquarters, a space station that orbited at the very edge of human territory. The Council had once been humanity's oppressor, making laws that favored alien interests. Now it existed primarily to coordinate efforts to avoid provoking humans further. Ambassador Carol Thompson represented humanity at the Council meetings, but everyone knew she wasn't there to negotiate. She was there to deliver ultimatums and ensure that alien species understood their place in the new order. The council chambers were filled with representatives from hundreds of species, but they all fell silent when Thompson stood to speak. The human ambassador was young, but she carried the authority of the most powerful military force in the galaxy. The Corvin Empire has requested permission to establish a trade route through human space, she announced. This request is denied. All trade routes will continue to go around human territory. Nobody argued. The Corvins had learned their lesson years ago, and everyone else had watched them learn it. Dr. William Chen studied the long-term effects of human dominance from his research station on Mars. His reports showed that alien technological development had essentially stopped. Instead of advancing their science, alien species spent their resources on defense systems and early warning networks. Meanwhile, human technology continued evolving at an unprecedented rate. Earth's shipyards produced vessels that were decades ahead of anything aliens could build. Human scientists pushed the boundaries of physics, while alien researchers focused on studying human psychology. Private Jake Miller, stationed at the Centauri outpost, watched alien merchant ships carefully navigate around human space. The ships took routes that added months to their journeys, rather than risk entering areas where humans might be present. The galaxy had reorganized itself around human territory. Trade networks that had connected civilizations for millennia were now broken into separate zones. Economic systems that had thrived for centuries collapsed as they lost access to routes through human space. But this was exactly what humans wanted. They had learned that the galaxy was full of predators who would exploit any sign of weakness. So they had become the ultimate predator, the species that other predators feared. Captain Stone looked out at the stars and smiled. Humans hadn't asked to become the galaxy's apex species, but they had embraced the role completely. They had learned that in a universe full of dangers, the safest position was at the top. The transmission went out on all frequencies, broadcast to every alien civilization in the galaxy. Human space remains closed to unauthorized vessels. This policy is permanent and non-negotiable. You have been warned.